The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. This is a truly touching story that proves that even while living in the shadow of death, love and hope can take root and ultimately prevail. Ludwig Sokolov, otherwise known as Lale, is transported from Slovakia to Auschwitz-Birkenau, and upon arrival he has the number 32407 carved into his skin and rubbed with green ink to create a tattoo. His gift for languages and his quiet watchfulness make him useful, and he eventually becomes the tattooist, a job that is somewhat under the protection of the commandant. This allows him to have some privileges, which he uses to help his fellow survivors, but also creates tension, as he feels that others might perceive him to be a collaborator. He rationalizes his participation by thinking that people who get the tattoo are put to work and consequently are allowed to live. But people who don't get the tattoo go straight to the gas chamber. He falls in love with Gita when he tattoos her number on her hand. He later says that he tattooed her number on her left hand and she tattooed her number on his heart. It is a forbidden romance. They meet on Sundays and take great risks smuggling letters to each other. Adding to the horror of their everyday existence in this hellish place, Lale is taunted by a guard who discovers their secret and who constantly threatens to reveal what he knows about their clandestine relationship. When Lale vows to marry her, Gita is doubtful but clings to the idea that they might actually survive the death camp. If you had to sum up the story into just one idea, it's the sheer miracle that hope remains alive in the face of everyday horror of life in a concentration camp. Author Heather Morris gives a fictionalized account of this true story between Lale Sokolov and Gita Furman, after meeting with Lale 2 or 3 times per week over the course of 3 years. Morris freely admits that she has placed the characters into places and events that are not historically accurate for the sake of the narrative. Historians might quibble about the veracity of the details of Lale's story, but if it's based on his memory of how things happened, I have no quarrel with it. The language Morris uses to describe their daily lives in the camp evokes the sheer horror and hopelessness of life in a place like Auschwitz, creating an atmosphere of dread and apprehension throughout the story. For me as a reader, the fact that this love story has its beginning in a place so grim and so devoid of any hope or tenderness was the story. The details of their life in Auschwitz and the genuinely horrifying circumstances of concentration camps just gives their story some context. It serves as a contrast to the miracle of love and hope. This book is available for instant download on Hoopla and also available as an ebook and an audiobook on Cloud Library.